Assalamu alaikum, dear friends, how are you? The modern life, although it has created many comforts, luxuries, difficult things have been made easy, but at the same time, new problems, new complications, particularly the psychological ones, have been created. We are quite often dissatisfied with our life. So many of the other problems as well, which are called the psychological problems. And then, because of those psychological problems and troubles, our practical life too suffers a lot. Thanks God that certain techniques have been invented because the kind of research is going on, and certain techniques which can help us a lot in coping as a coping mechanism have been invented and devised. Today we are going to talk about a very useful and a very beneficial technique that is called mindfulness, and we are going to look upon this mindfulness, which is heavily extensively useful and beneficial for all sort of psychological problems, and then later on the physical and the practical life problem. And let's look upon what is this mindfulness technique and how does it help us, what kind of problems does it addresses. So mindfulness is the practice of paying attention to the present moment, in a non-judgmental way, paying attention to paying attention to find to the present moment in a non-judgmental way. It involves cultivating awareness of one's thoughts, feelings, and bodily sensations. Not only this, but our surroundings as well, with the curiosity, with the open mindedness. Mean, we all of us do have a past, and usually the past have lots of regrets and repentance. But we don't have to regret and repent at all. We have to learn whatever we can, then let it go. All of us have certain future. As for the future is concerned, we do have the worries about the future. We don't need to worry. Plan somewhat about the future, then let it go as well. Not to dwell in the past, not to worry about the future. Focus and pay attention, the whole of the attention, to your present, to your today, and to the present moment. I think as for this technique of paying all the attention to the present moment, that is called mindfulness. And if at all we go to the technical definition, the mindfulness, it says that a state of mind achieved by by focusing one's awareness on the present moment while calmly acknowledging and accepting one's thoughts, one's feelings, one's bodily sensations without without judgment, and also paying attention to the surrounding, but again in a non-judgmental way. If we want to talk about it in a single or two sentences, it will be focusing all the attention, awareness on the present moment. So that is called mindfulness. Let's go about why it is so beneficial. What are the major benefits? There are 10 major benefits of this mindfulness. The first one is that is reduces stress and anxiety. It does reduces stress and anxiety up to great level. Now second, it improves mental clarity and focus. Yes, mental clarity should be achieved by removing the confusion. Also we need to achieve the focus, and it is improves mental clarity and focus. Number 3, it enhances emotional regulation. Emotion does play very important role in our life. Like, fear is an emotion, anger is an emotion, and the jealousy is an emotion. All of these are the negative emotions. Love is an emotion. Kind-heartedness and empathy is an emotion. So there are other as well. So we need to regulate the emotions, and regulating the emotions is called the emotional intelligence, which is considered a kind of essential and a must for a good life. So dear friends and fellows, it does regulate it does regulate our emotions. Now the number four major benefit, that is it boosts mood and well-being. We all need to keep ourselves in a good mood, and it does boost a very good mood. Not only the mood, because the mood says the present, and then it is the well-being as well. So well-being, now the fifth is it improves quality sleep. Yes, improves sleep quality, because sleeping well, so important, because sleeping well mean our mind is resting properly, and those once we wake up, we can work effectively. Why? Because we feel genuinely fresh, because our mind is fresh, because our mind has been given enough amount of the rest, so it is fresh enough to take on the new challenges and the new opportunities. So it improves the sleep quality. Number six, it increases self-awareness and self-acceptance. We all need to be well aware about ourselves, and all of us need to accept ourselves. Once we talk about the self-awareness, once we talk about the self-acceptance, it does not mean that we don't have to improve. It does not mean that we don't have to work hard and smart for the betterment. We do have to work smart and hard. But dear friends and fellows, we need to here what is needed is that we need to be aware about ourselves, and we need to accept ourselves, because that will bring peace to our life, peace to our mind. We will be able to work more effectively, and the anxiety, the stress and the depression will be gone. Now the seventh major benefit, that is it sport physical health as well. Not only that it does more sport, not only that it does ensure the psychological health, it ensures the psychological health, but it helps us a lot as for the physical health is concerned. How? Suppose somebody is suffering from hypertension, from the high blood pressure, it does help us a lot in bringing down the blood pressure, because we don't remain stressed anymore. Now the next is, yes, it's for the physical health. Now the eighth is it enhances communication level at a end. It enhances the relationship as well. All of us have certain relationship. We want to improve the relationship. We want to make the new relationship. Also, we want to be a better communicator. The relationship cannot be a good one unless and until we are better able to communicate well. So good communication, that is so much important indeed. So we need to communicate properly. We need to improve our communication level. We need to improve our relationship quality. And that will be possible with the practice of mindfulness. Now, the ninth major benefit is that it increases resilience and adaptability. All of us need to be adaptable enough. All of us need to be resilient enough, because the life we are living, it is not smooth at all. There are so many challenges. There are so many troubles. There are so many difficult, abnormal situations at many points. So we won't be able to do all that. We will not be able to adjust ourselves in the changing circumstances unless and until we are resilient enough. As for the mindfulness is concerned, it makes us a more resilient person. It makes us a more adaptable person. Now the 10th and the last major benefit of this mindfulness is that it fosters personal growth, and it fosters then spiritual development as well. As for the personal growth is concerned, as for the spiritual development is concerned, it has a lot to do with the practice of mindfulness. So these are the 10 major benefits of practicing mindfulness. Now, how to practice mindfulness skillfully? How to practice the mindfulness skillfully? There are four basic techniques. Then there are four modern, latest, and newly developed techniques. Let's look upon the four basic and the four, four and the four techniques. That is, the first one is focus on the breath. Focusing on the breath. I'm inhaling, and then I have to retain it for few seconds in my lungs. Then I do release it, like I'm observing it, watching it, feeling it, benefiting from it, getting more and more fresh because of it. So that is focusing on the present moment. Now the second is focus on the breath. Sorry, focus on the breath. Now the second is, that is body scan. What is this body scan technique? Lie down comfortably where your body is at ease. Now now look at, let's say that I am looking upon my feet and I am scanning all that it is okay, it is feeling good. And then the next part of it, then the lower legs, then the upper legs. So in this way, focusing, paying attention to each and every part of the body, and then scanning it, in the imagination, scan it, so that that is another basic technique. Now the third is walking. That is, pay attention to each step, each movement, and each sensation. So that is the basic technique number 3. It was walking. Now the basic technique number 4 is mindful movement. What is this mindful movement? It is Tai Chi, which is practiced in the China. Then there is a yoga, which originated from India, and then other mindfulness exercises. So that is, these were the four basic ways of practicing the mindfulness. Now there are four advanced techniques as well. Four advanced techniques as well. What are those, by the way? One is loving kindness meditation. Loving and kindness meditation. Cultivate cultivate compassion and kindness toward oneself and towards others as well. Cultivating compassion and kindness towards oneself and others. That is the first advanced technique. It is called loving kindness technique. The second advanced technique is guided meditation. What is this guided meditation? People used to do it collectively, in a group, like the group of 30, 20, or even 5, 6 people. One of them is acting like a guru, and guiding all that, keep speaking, in quite a rhythm, slowly instructing the people that what they should imagine. But now a very good quality of this guided meditation is available at your own home. Go to the YouTube, open a video of guided meditation, and it is really very, very enjoyable. Now the third is mindful inquiry. What is this mindful inquiry? That is, investigate thoughts, investigate emotions and physical sensation. Investigate your own thoughts, investigate your own emotions, investigate your own physical sensations. So that is called mindful inquiry. Now the fourth and the last advanced technique of practicing mindfulness, that is non-striving. It is mostly practiced by those people who have abandoned the world, and they are the monks, the Buddhist monks, and even the Hindu yogis as well. They practice it. How do they practice it? Practice acceptance and letting go of expectations. Expectations, letting go of expectations, and acceptance. First of all, we need to accept ourselves, that whoever I am okay. I'm satisfied with myself. And the other is letting go of the expectations. I don't expect anything from anybody. I don't expect anything from the world. So letting go of expectation, that is the life lived by the Buddhist monks, and that is a life lived by the Hindu yogis. Now going to the next step, that is tips for effective practice. There are tips for the easy practice. The first one is, that is tips for that is starting small from 5 to 10 minutes in the beginning, and that should be considered enough. The second is find a quiet, comfortable space. Finding a quiet and a comfortable space. Number three, be consistent. Be consistent. Number four, use reminders like reminders from the mobile phone apps, like the sticky notes. Now the number five is seek guidance from the books, from the courses, from the mentors. Now the sixth is practice mindfulness in the daily activities, like eating, like taking shower, and like many other, daily activities. Practice mindfulness. Now the seventh is cultivate patience and self-compassion. Patience on the one hand and self-compassion on the other hand, because patience is a great virtue. And then, as for the self-compassion is concerned, it is considered essential. It is considered essential because being overly critical about yourself, that will spoil the peace of mind, and that will spoil the performance quality as well. Now the eighth is explore various techniques to find what works best for you. Exploring various techniques to find what works best for you. Now there are recommended recommended resources as well. Like mindfulness apps. There are certain mindfulness apps on the smartphone, on the computer. So that is a resource which can be availed. Now the other is the books. The third is that is online courses. The fourth is local mindfulness groups and retreats. Local mindfulness groups and retreats, online courses, books, mindfulness apps on the phone and the computer. Now there are certain common challenges. What will be the difficulties which I have to face, you have to face while we are trying to practice the mindfulness? The first one is that is the distraction from the here and the there, and the second is that is the restlessness. Practice relaxation techniques if at all somebody is feeling anxious or the restlessness. Now the third is self-criticism. Self-criticism, that is one of the bad habits because it cripples us. I don't want to be crippled, so I don't have to do the self-criticism. But as for the reflection is concerned, for the purpose of learning, that is highly useful, and I practice it on a daily basis. Now, self-criticism is bad. Cultivate self-compassion and cultivate, kindness as well. Self-compassion. Learn to forgive others, but learn to forgive yourself as well. Learn to be kind-hearted. Learn to be soft with you. Learn to be gentle with you. So that was a very comprehensive study indeed. By incorporating mindfulness into your daily life, you will experience greater calm. You will experience greater calm, clarity, and overall well-being. So that is something about the mindfulness. Mindfulness is definitely one of the finest techniques, or maybe the finest technique ever, in keeping us in a very good form psychologically, and it does help us a lot in becoming more and more physically healthy person as well. If we want to live a peaceful life, enjoyable life, I think it is absolutely not possible without the total help of mindfulness. So that's all from me today. Thank you very much.